Welcome to our live stream of high school sports. Please note that this broadcast is produced by an independent team of sports enthusiasts, and the views, opinions, and commentary expressed are solely those of the commentators and not representative of the schools, teams, or athletes featured. While we strive for accuracy, occasional errors or misstatements may occur. This stream is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Thank you for joining us and enjoy the show.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Hey, you ain't never seen nothing like this. Ain't no telling how it might get. It's the hypest right here. High school sports at its finest. So many highlights, you have to rewind it. Hey, Stream City, let me just remind you. The heart of a lion, the team full of fighters. So many stars on the field, it'll blind you. They're giving everything they got till the time's up. Yeah, legends in the making. History is made. We just getting started. You ain't seen a thing. YSN, gotta know the name. They gon' bring the flames. They gon' do their thing. Take it to another level, don't hold back. High school, got a passion and we show that. Got the drive and you know they got the heart. #1 spot for your high school sports. Let's go for the win. Hey.
Hey, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another Monday, an Overreaction Monday edition of YSN Live. DJ Oakley, Anthony Hartwig with you. We'll be joined very, very shortly by the one, the only Greg McAfee for this Overreaction Monday. And Anthony, welcome first. And secondly, can't help but notice that you're not wearing Chiefs red today. In any particular reason?
Well, the Chiefs lost, Georgia Tech won. So you'll see red back during the week. We'll be getting gear up for the Eagles and get all excited. But, one team won, one team didn't. We'll go with Tech for Monday.
All right.
It's all good.
Welcome back to mediocrity, my friend.
Yeah,
welcome back to
0-1,
mediocrity.
Okay. Everyone that's 0-1 is mediocre. It's good.
I'm just saying, hey, not looking great for week 2 either. You got the Eagles.
We'll see.
Yeah. We'll see them there.
We'll find out.
We'll see them there. We have unbelievable games to talk about. We've got some controversy, so to speak, to talk about. We're going to dabble in, but we're going to hand out some game balls as well from the weekend that was in high school football. And with some of those overreactions and great reactions and great analysis, we bring in the brain of YSN, ladies and gentlemen, Greg McAfee.
What up?
G-Mac in the car. What's going on, buddy?
I just to start off, I did have something to say. Since the Chiefs lost, and the Bills won last night, I did have something to say, but I'm just going to leave that to DJ since he already got it out of
the way. There it is. On behalf of all of us. Right there. Well, other than you, the only Bills fan that I know apparently fell asleep, for the game. So
he thought it was over when it was 40-25.
Can't even brag, right? Because you just saw the highlights. Been there, done that, and bought the T-shirt. Greg, we other than NFL, which I think we were all excited for. Some of us more than others, specifically on Sunday. It was a great week of high school football. You talk about the Friday, 28 games for us, and then one following on Saturday. What did you see in particular to week 3 of high school football that you were looking forward to for the first 2 weeks and it carried into week 3?
I mean, it's just the consistent, high level play across the board for the most part. I mean, you see teams continue to have success on the field, the teams that we've kind of talked about through the first 2 weeks. I mean, and you had a lot of teams that have these barometer games like we kind of talked about on Thursday on zone coverage. I mean, the Girard Edgewood game, another good one. Both teams kind of showing new things. I think AJ Pearson, after throwing for big numbers in the first 2 weeks, used his legs against Edgewood, and that resulted in a big win, 48-27 for the Indians, which, we'll have to have a conversation with Mr. Sam Torres on Thursday. But you saw a lot of teams around the area just kind of have these barometer type games to show what they're really made of. Like Boardman Cheney. I mean, 3 overtime 38, 35, 34 victory for the Spartans to get into the win column. I mean, that's what high school football is about right there. And it's exciting to see kind of those teams show up, when the moments matter most and get in the win column for sure.
When you see not just some barometer games, but also some needed to win games. Some 0-2 teams got the first win of the season. They needed wins bad. Talk about Boardman, Columbiana also in that same boat as well. What do you see from those teams to kind of go into conference play with some positivity?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the big thing. Like, momentum is the name of the game in high school football. Once you build it, you can kind of lean on it a little bit. It builds up confidence and shows you the work that you're putting in on a daily basis throughout the week can show up on Fridays. I mean, Boardman is one of those teams that started off the season 0-2. They had some tough matchups in their first 2 weeks against Twinsburg, and then I can't remember who they played last week. But to be able to get a win over a pretty tough Cheney team in triple overtime, I mean, that's huge, especially with the way they did it, coming up with a defensive stop in overtime when the game was on the line. That's huge. And then, I mean, like you said, you look at Columbiana as well, getting a good win over a tough Western Reserve team. I mean, that's huge, especially, for Bob Spate and the Clippers, especially after coming off a loss against rough loss against McDonald. The results showed on the field on Friday. The work they're putting in throughout the week is paying off.
Lake, the week 2 opponent for Boardman.
Lake, that's what it was. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So some of the tough questions that I've had to answer over the weekend. Who is the best 3-0 team in our coverage area?
Oh man, I mean, there's so many good ones, which makes it tough. We talked last week on this show where I think the NE8 is still going to come down to that October 10th game. Girard, Poland, both 3-0. They haven't slowed down whatsoever. They continue to put up high numbers in the points column, and they're able to kind of work through games in multiple different ways. I mean, like I mentioned with Girard, the first 2 weeks, AJ Pearson really showed off his arm. This week he shows off his legs, that he can use his legs as well, and I think he still threw for 127 yards and a touchdown. So I mean, they still got it done through the air. But I think as the season goes on, you see teams kind of show off new talents, new skills. They adjust to how teams are playing them, but I would say Girard and Poland are definitely up there for me for sure. And then I mean, Canfield, you got a big battle in the battle of 224 this week against Poland, and that's a battle of undefeateds right there. And then you got Liberty and Crestview on Friday as well, which I was saying on the recap show on Friday. I'm jealous. Whoever gets to cover that game, I am jealous.
We were talking about setting up like a battle royale for announcers if you usually get the right to. When you talk about, it's way too early to talk about MVPs, but if you had to pick a couple of players that were really standing out so far this year as well, who are some players that you think are really, putting their best foot forward through 3 weeks of the season?
Well, you can stick to the quarterback position. AJ Pearson, AJ Pearson from Girard, David Zipolitis from Poland, I think are two that stand out to me. Drew Zajac over at McDonald's, another one. He's coming off a 25 carry, 199-yard game with 2 touchdowns. Dion Tutwiler, DeJuan Moody from Liberty are both having great seasons so far. And there's definitely some guys around the area. Jake Nolan from Crestview is up there. Braden Songer is another one. I mean, there's guys kind of all over the place. Clark Rutledge from East Palestine, Grady Hurst from West Branch. There's guys all over the area. It would be hard to pick just one or two right now, but I think those are the guys that stand out to me when I'm looking at box scores each week and when I'm going over film.
All right, I'm going to cheat. I'm just going to take my last question and flip it around. Who is the best non-winning team so far, or one-win team so far in our valley?
That's a good one, TJ.
Journalism, my friend. This is where, YSN Live is where you get all the hard-hitting questions said by nobody.
I really thought when I called the Boardman Twinsburg game week 1, I really thought Boardman had all the pieces. They got a couple backs who are really strong, who can run the ball physical. They have a pretty solid line on both the defensive and offensive sides. They got a couple wide receivers, and then you have a senior quarterback in Vince Butto who really knows how to manage a game, who really can, make the passes when they need to. And I think Boardman is better than what their 1-2 record shows. They were in that game week 1. Obviously, they get the first win this past week. So Boardman definitely sticks out to me. I'm trying to think of who else is at the 1 win mark right now.
Kind of unfair for me to set you up like that without giving you a heads up.
I would say Boardman is up there though. I mean, they're one team that really stands out to me for sure.
If I could throw a team in there that I think is fine, like no one's hitting the panic button yet, it's Warren JFK. Warren JFK has plenty of pieces. They've had a really tough 3 weeks, of course. Mm-hmm. They're fine. I think they have the especially when they get in the playoffs. When they get in the playoffs, division, the division they play in is way lower than anything they play in the regular season. Mm-hmm. I think JFK can really still do some damage.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at the teams they played. I mean, they're coming off a tough loss to Liberty, but the week before that, they played Garfield, who is week in and week out, year in and year out, one of the better teams in the area. So they definitely have the pieces. They have the athletes. And one thing that JFK is always going to have is the determination, the motivation, the heart. They're always going to be rallying to the ball. I mean, and they were in that game against Liberty for all 4 quarters. I mean, it's not like they were completely out of it. They trailed 7-0 at halftime. Liberty got the running game going late in the third quarter. And, that's what the Leopards do to you. They kind of wear on you throughout the game. But JFK played solid defense in that matchup on Friday.
Do you think there's a reason to be scared if you're in Struthers? I'm not scared, but a reason to be concerned if you're in Struthers. And obviously they lost a lot last year, and they've been on the back end of some tail beatings so far this year. Yeah. Do you think that the Wildcats are going to be able to get it together, or do you think this is something that it's a rebuilding year and they're just going to continue to kind of stack bricks and stack lessons whenever they can?
Oh yeah, I think I was talking about it a little bit on Thursday or on Friday. I can't remember which show it was, but they're coming off a year where they lost a pretty decent size senior class, and that senior class was a little bit of the backbone for the run they had under Bayek. And you still have some pieces in place though. Their quarterback is pretty solid. They have a wide receiver on the outside who's week in and week out putting up pretty big numbers. I think his last name is Pastella. They got guys kind of all over the place, and you're coming off a tough loss to Cheney. You're coming off a pretty tough matchup against West Branch, and the Warriors can really light up the scoreboard. So I don't think it's any time to panic. And I think over the course of the rest of the season that they'll be able to put some things together to match some wins for sure.
There's a 3-0 team that we haven't brought up yet, and it's in Stream City, USA. Those East Palestine Bulldogs have not lost. Greg, how much stock are we putting into East Palestine now that EOAC play is starting up?
When you start off a year 3-0, you build confidence, you build momentum, especially at DJ, correct me if I'm wrong, they lost a pretty big senior class, if I remember correctly.
Did. Yes, sir.
And you have 2 Rutledge boys, Clark and Peyton, kind of leading the way over there. Clark had a pretty big game this past week over Bridgeport, 28-21. I can't tell if I wrote a 9 or a 4. 194 yards passing with a touchdown, and then he had 20 carries for 173 yards and 2 touchdowns. When you're able to put up numbers like that week in and week out, that's going to build up a lot of confidence in an offense, and it's really going to carry the momentum week in, week out. And obviously with conference play starting, you're going to learn some more about this team. But I think starting 3-0 builds up a lot of confidence, builds up some momentum, and that's something that carries over.
And I think that's where I'm going to kind of lean into that segue of conference play, because we've heard about how good these teams are for 3 weeks. They've got to kind of dial up their schedule however they wish, whether they're loading it up or whether they're getting some cupcakes to get some wins and progress it. Mm-hmm. Now's the time, Greg, that you and I have talked about off the stream, so to speak.
Yeah.
That this is where the rubber meets the road. Now you're in conference play. You can't really schedule things. It just happens. Mm-hmm. How much are you putting into week 4, especially in conference play? We know Canfield and Poland, not conference opponents. Maybe someday, hopefully, fingers crossed. But I mean, how much are you going to find out about your team in week 4 in the most case?
Well, I think it's interesting because, obviously over the years, I've talked to a lot of different coaches kind of about how they set themselves up for conference play. You have a lot of coaches who, want to test themselves, and you see programs kind of all over the area approach this differently. Some test themselves with tough non-conference opponents, and some, find ways to, still get to test themselves while, playing, the schedule that they do. So I think it really depends on what those non-conference schedules look like. But going into week 4, that's where you really find out the most about your team when conference play starts. I mean, we're looking at a team like Liberty who, they played Champion, they played Camel with their first 2 games, and then they go up against a team like Warren JFK, and now they meet Crestview week 4 in their first conference game, and that's a tough one. Jake Nolan and the Rebels are on a roll right now. You're going to learn a lot about the Leopards here in week 4. But then you have, games like Canfield and Poland where it's not a conference game, but you can still learn a lot about where your team stands at this point in the season.
So they always say that you can't win a conference in that first week, but you can lose it, right? That's the old cliche. What conference matchup do you think is like the most important to win if you had to pick one? In the first week of conference play?
Well, for me, I mean, the game that I just mentioned, Liberty, Crestview, they seem to be the 2 teams that are on a roll in the MVAC right now. And I think for good reason, they're 2 of the better teams, in that conference. I can't remember if McDonald's in that same conference as well. I've been away for a little bit. But depending on whoever comes out of that matchup with a win is going to be carrying a lot of momentum in the rest of their conference schedule. And I think that's a big one for both programs. It's a really good barometer for both teams. 2 good defenses, 2 good offenses, and it's really going to set whoever wins up for the rest of the season.
All right, we're going to have to dip into some semi-sort of breaking news. Some people may not know, but those who know, and those who are learning for the first time, there is a cancellation on the schedule this week. It is Springfield and Waterloo. Waterloo is said to be week to week after a conversation I had with the MVAC Commissioner, John Mang. Obviously frustration sets in when you're in a situation like this because you just played 3 non-conference games that I know there's going to be a lot of pushback on this next statement that don't matter, right? Non-conference games don't really matter. At the end of it, you start your MVAC schedule against Springfield. At Springfield, there's a lot more than just losing a game. There's loss of revenue. There's unfortunate situations of you don't have enough time to schedule or reschedule an opponent at this point. That is fair, to Springfield. I know there's some D1 schools out there that, hey, I don't think that's a great idea on Springfield's behalf either, but they shouldn't have to do this. I understand that numbers are low, and we all get it, but you kind of know that going into a season. How frustrating is this, Greg, to see, not just from a fan's perspective, but even from Waterloo's perspective, to not be able to play opening week in the conference?
Well, I mean, I think you hit it mostly right there on the head, DJ. It stinks for the opponents who are ready to play, and they're kind of put in a tough situation. Obviously, in Springfield's case, they have less than a week to either find a new opponent or not play a game on Friday, and that stinks for the seniors on the Tigers team. It stinks for the seniors in the Waterloo program as well because they lose a game in their final season. So it kind of stinks all around. It's frustrating. I couldn't even imagine how I would have felt when I was a senior in high school, or just an athlete in high school, to lose a game during the season, because that's one less opportunity that you get to kind of showcase your talents and showcase what you're capable of. And so when you have situations like this pop up, it's kind of understandable, but at the same time, it's frustrating for sure.
I feel like 6 years ago, if a game got canceled, it would have felt like out of nowhere, and these kids would have been completely, sideswiped by it. I can't believe this has happened. Now you probably talk to some of these kids in both camps. It's like, well, we knew it would happen eventually. It's just one of those things, like getting games canceled has become too much of a trend. Do you feel that too?
I mean, yeah. I think you see it pop up from time to time for sure. Obviously, what we all had to go through with COVID and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that was when it felt like the norm more than anything, because you never knew what was going to happen. You could have a full roster on a Monday, and then lose 2 or 3 guys on a Wednesday, and then you'd have to cancel games because it would spread throughout a roster. So I think that was when it was more of a norm. But as we've gotten away from COVID, I think it's happened less. I could be wrong in this area from the past year or so, but it seems like it's happened less, I would say, in the past year.
Greg, we can't thank you enough. We know that you're turning your resume, you're growing it even more as you become a professor today, my friend. So the professor on YSN of high school football and all other sports, ladies and gentlemen, the great Greg McAfee. G, thanks for stopping by, buddy. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Good luck in class. Don't be late.
Thank you. I'll try not to.
See you, pal.
Bye.
So I thought about it last second on that.
I was ready to hit that button real quick as soon as Greg got out to try to get to this screen as quick as possible. But you were on it, man.
I'm trying.
We had both of us ready to go. We're getting used to that three shot, trying to get out of it.
I have to almost game plan for it. So on the way out, instead of going to the 3 shot that we have, I go to this shot where he's below, and then he just I'm ready. I got it. Hey, week 4.
Week 4, we got it.
So, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of frustration when it comes to what there is going on in Waterloo, and it's not just in Waterloo, but right now it is. And I guess my biggest thing when I talked to Mr. Mang, the commissioner, and I asked him specifically, what does this mean? And he said, week to week. There's a lot of things that went through my head. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you what I don't, as a fan, as someone who loves the MVAC, as someone who loves football, and not that there's anybody at Waterloo that doesn't, preface, but I hope this isn't a situation where you're picking your battles. That's not fair. That's going to be a challenge, right? I hope that's not what this is. We've seen this happen before. The option that they had, and they went through in the non-conference game against Lisbon last week, right? And the clock started, and it didn't stop because it limited the amount of chances for injury. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's any different. Now, in my perspective, in my humble opinion, I repeat, in my humble opinion, if you know this is the way it's going to be, you shouldn't be able to play non-conference games. Conference games are your first priority. You should play those first, right? See how far you can go. If you got to turn the clock on, turn the clock on. This can't be a situation now where you go, you know what, we know that Springfield's going to beat us, or we know that I think Mineral Ridge is next. You can't just go to week 6 or week 7 and be like, okay, well, we think we have a chance against them, and then look for wins. Because to me, and I'm not in John Mang's shoes, nor do I want to be, it shouldn't count. And I know that's hard to hear, but that you should be disqualified from any sort of victory at that point, because you're putting other school districts in a really, really tough place. You're in a tough place. There's no doubt about it. I don't want you to end your season, but you shouldn't be able to go, okay, well, we're going to go 2 weeks from now, we're going to go here. I don't think that's the case in this. I hope that's not the case in this. But when you hear those week to weeks, you start wondering, okay, and I get it. And then you start thinking about 8-man. I shouldn't say nobody wants to play 8-man, because they do. But it's also a situation where these schools, they have confidence to schedule you because they have to. That's right. The agreement. So next year, if you have enough players to play, does Springfield get that revenue? Does Springfield get the gate? Right.
Do you have to play at Springfield next year, even though it would be technically your home game if this game's canceled? I mean, Springfield should have that home game in the slot.
And what about the seniors? I mean, Greg, alluded to the seniors. They're not going to get this game back.
Right.
You know, and we talked about this during COVID a lot. One of the best things about high school football your senior year is you're guaranteed 10 games.
Right.
That's not the case anymore.
Nope.
And for better, for worse, whatever it may be, like you have 10 Friday nights that you're going to talk about for the rest of your life. And I'm not sitting there saying that the administration or anybody's taking it away from Waterloo. It's circumstances beyond their control. Because if I know Waterloo, and you and I have had some great conversations with some of the leadership over there in the past years,
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to cancel a game, but they're in a situation where, hey, we have to look after our kids first.
Right.
But it's also a situation where that scenario shouldn't change within 3 weeks. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I hope this doesn't turn into.
I think a good way to fix that would just be have the mandate that, okay, you can cancel one conference game per season, whatever the circumstances are. You have that one grace game, but if you have to cancel 2, then we're not doing this week to week anymore. Like, you're done. Like, we can't keep going, okay, 2 games. Okay, we're waiting to see when you're going to be able to play. If you have to cancel 2 weeks, then we're not going to be able to keep you on the conference slate anymore. I know that's not exactly quote unquote fair necessarily to everyone involved, but I think it's the most like reasonable option in that state. Like, things happen, so you should have that one grace game. It shouldn't be cancel 1, your season's over. But if you have to cancel 2, especially 2 in a row, I think that should be the sign that, okay, we're not going to play this game anymore. We can't be second guessing if we're going to get this game or not. We have to have these teams know way ahead of time that you're not going to have that game on the schedule. So I would say 2 weeks in a row, that's the end of the line. If I was, in charge of the things, which obviously I'm not.
No, but I think you're right. I think there's, okay, you can't run and hide. And again, not the right terminology. We don't know this is what is happening. But if history tells us anything, it tells us we've seen where, okay, well, we can play week 6, but we don't have to play this team and this team, but we have a shot here.
Right.
Not shot of not competing, shot of winning. You know what I mean? Right. That's where it gets sticky. And again, these are still children. These are still people, but right. The adults have to be able to say, okay, what's fair is fair and what's not is not. I mean, I can't imagine that Springfield's happy, even if it's a forfeit, right? I don't know that it's a great situation for them to not play.
Yeah, their only options to play, like you said, are to go grab some D1 school. Like what Villiana St. Joe's might be open this week.
Yeah, no thanks.
Go grab them, and that's your only option. Either go grab them or you don't play.
Yeah, go grab one of these D1 schools, bring them in. They'll come. They'll be happy to come, and show you, what they're all about. But is that what you want? Why should Springfield have to do that? I mean, they're playing teams in their conference. They shouldn't have to go get another conference game. If I know Sean Guerrero, and I do, he's calling everybody possible.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. And what is going to be interesting next week is Mineral Ridge.
Yeah.
So if you're Steve Rowan, are you calling schools already potentially thinking,
right?
Hey, we're probably not going to have a game?
Can we have you as a safety net in case we get the we can't guarantee that we're going to play you guys, but we're looking like Waterloo might decide not to play us. So can we have a little safety net here? But that's murky too, because what athletic director is going to be like, okay, we'll play you if you're available, but then they're looking for a game too. It gets real murky.
And either way, you're going to have egg on your face because
right.
Either you're going to play, a Waterloo in that situation, or and you're going to break that trust or relationship that you just developed. I don't think there's teams waiting around in week 5, waiting to, hey, you know what? We were looking for a game. Like, that probably happens months and months ago. And then they just realize, okay, well, there's really nobody in week 5 to play.
Unless you get lucky and some other conference is dealing with the same thing. I mean, in that case, count your stars, because I doubt that would ever happen. But if you have another conference that's fairly local that's dealing with another cancellation for the same reason, then you can kind of, touch base there. But that rarely happens.
But in COVID, it happened more because there were other teams canceling. Thank God we are past the COVID era. But you're in an era now where, what do you do? If you're Springfield, if I was in Sean Guerrero's shoes right now in a D1, hey, we feel really bad that you guys don't have. Do you guys want to play? Nope.
Nope.
No, we do want to play. We don't think that as Springfield's D6 again,
I
right?
think D6.
5 divisions up is a little much. If you're a Division 5 team, okay, sure. But like at this point, I'm not sure makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, you got Villa Angela St. Joe. Wasn't that where Bo Jackson went, who's now at Ohio State?
Yeah.
Not the Bo Jackson.
And the Villa Angela
Bo Jackson.
Not the Bo Jackson. Villa and St. Joe's they're the kind of juggernauts that teams like Hoban and Walsh and Uniontown, like they should be playing them.
Mooney plays them.
You
know what I mean? We saw them play them last year. So it's not a good situation for anybody. And I hate even talking about it because I feel like it's almost depressing, but it's something that needs to be talked about because you look at this and people are going to go, well, wait a minute. Why isn't this game happening? And we get yelled at. Like we're scheduling. Right. So I already had the conversation with, again, a quick conversation with John Mang, who was nice enough to pick up in the middle of a doctor's appointment. Somehow, I don't know how he did that. I usually
hold on, Doc. It's DJ.
It's DJ Yoakley, Doc. We gotta hold up everything, and you can hear in the background they're like getting ready to get him. Like,
they're getting them.
But it's a situation like, what is this for our coverage? What does this mean? Right. Because we are trying to bring as many games, and if we were covering the Springfield Waterloo game. Mm-hmm. Now we have a team that doesn't have a game. And ultimately what that means for us as a business is I've got a group of guys who I promised that would have a paycheck this week that have nowhere to go.
Right.
We've got all our games set thanks to Chris Ziegler and thanks to Sarah Yoakley, 2 weeks in advance typically. And it domino effect is real and we're feeling it and we'll make it work, but we're going to get calls. Why don't you have the Springfield game? There is no Springfield game.
There is no Springfield game.
If there is, we were getting. You saw some of the things we got.
Yep.
Last week and the week before, it's like, wait a minute. Not that we're playing victim in this because we're not. There's just some games we're not going to get to. But now it's okay. If Springfield gets a home game, good chance we cover it. If Springfield has to go on the road here in week 4, and it's Cincinnati, Dayton, even Cleveland. Like now we have to be like, okay, do we do this game? Can we do this game? Is this something that because then you've got to throw more money at this game because, gas ain't cheap.
It goes beyond like, can the announcers, because then it also, because it's going to be a non-YSN team, will they let us in the game in the first place? Even if we had announcers that were willing to make that trip, would they clear us to be in? Because that's sometimes up in the air.
I know that a team like Orange has I'm guaranteeing Orange has a team to play, but man, it'd be nice to see that. Orange versus Springfield, something like that. No pressure. Tim Porter.
Tim Porter's watching this like, no.
That's it. We're out. We are out. But I mean, we look quickly at the schedule. There's nobody. And it's funny. It's not funny. It's ironic that we talked about Leetonia for so long about this, and people are pointing the fingers at Leetonia, and they're the 2-1 team, and they're like, "Yeah, we're good. We're going to battle. You can leave us out of this." I don't know. Frustrating to say the least. After 3 weeks of football, now you get into conference play, and now the conversation starts of we're going to be week to week. You shouldn't play non-conference games. And I know it's easy for me to say. Your conference is what counts, right? And I know it stinks that everybody's playing when you're not, but now it's going to be the same situation. Now they're playing for a conference championship, and you're not. You're the guys that you're supposed to be playing.
Right.
That drives me bananas. More so than Radar Pavlov. That drives me bananas.
Those are a lot of bananas.
That's a lot of bananas.
It's a lot of bananas.
Hey, Waterloo, if you're out there, you're listening. Hey, we're with you. We're with you. We hope that you're able to get healthy. If you're down, guys, we don't know that. We don't know if it's his injury or if this is just kind of like we're not going to be able to do this. I know they were low on numbers. All right, we do know that.
Right.
That's
why the Lisbon game started with running clock, because they were just, let's lessen the opportunity of, like you said, the opportunity of injuries, lessen the amount of plays we have to get in. So they were already kind of flirting with this a little bit in week 3. The writing was on the wall.
Yeah. But at the same token, I don't think Lisbon took advantage of Waterloo at any point. I don't think Springfield would take advantage. I mean, Sebring was in this same boat not too long ago,
right?
Before they were 8-man. And, it's not a situation where I want you to take your lumps necessarily, because that's going to sound really bad, but there's a sense of pride for going out there and listen, we're going to give it all. We're going to give it our all. And, if you're saying basically that it's okay to play against Lisbon, it's okay to play against, and you're going to have to, forgive me for not remembering the first 2 teams that Waterloo played against, but like once it gets to Springfield, no. We're not doing that. Like that's, I don't know. You probably should have told Springfield like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, hey, we're probably not going to play you guys when it comes to it. Whether, at least give them an out. Not that they'd be able to get anybody on 3 weeks' notice, let alone a week's notice. But, like, that's just a real tough situation for everybody involved.
Yeah, and when you think about the things that, like, you could, like you said, you could have done. I think when you talk about conference opponents, not only are you obligated to play them, but there's a little bit more of, you should have a little bit more care and respect towards those guys because you play them every year. There's a little bit of notoriety. You're with them. You're in the coaches' meetings. There should be a little bit more like mutual respect. Like, hey, Springfield, even if we still plan on playing you, but we're hurting right now, and if something happens in this first 3 weeks, you should be prepared that we might not be able to play you in the first week of conference play. Would have been like a courtesy phone call, Now,
I understand that there's in Derp's pretty much on target. As we did talk about this in the beginning of the season, which feels like it was months ago, by the way. But there was, I want to say it was was it a Pennsylvania team that combined teams for one reason or another? I can't remember what it was. And it was maybe a decade ago, maybe a little bit less, that they combined teams and they were able to play under one banner. I don't think at this scenario I would necessarily be against that for allowing Waterloo to play football because, I don't know the roster enough to tell you that there's 4 seniors on it. Maybe that's what it is. But Greg said it, you look forward to this your entire life in your senior year. And we talk about seniors all the time and how much it means to you. And you remember everything from it for the rest of your life, for the most part. That's being kind of taken away from them. And is it fair? No. Is life fair? No. But at the same token, if we can do something about it, let's do it. And is there another small team that you can say, hey, listen, we're just gonna weld them together. Yeah, we're gonna weld them together here this year, see how it goes. Even if the games don't count. Okay, we're going to play this game, but it doesn't. You want the reps, right? That's what I'm hearing is the coaches want the reps. They want the ability to play somebody else that's not their own. Keep the revenue, right? You can still sell hot dogs for this. The glizzies and the Cokes and the band boosters and the band still get to play, stuff like that. It's a great situation. It's a great opportunity. And I hate people that bring problems but no solutions. And we're trying to bring solutions to the people of Waterloo and Springfield in this scenario. Is there somebody else? Hey, Leetonia, we know you're low on numbers. How about Waterloo and Leetonia do this guy for the year? Leetonloo. Leetonloo playing Vanloo. Oh, Vanloo boys be in trouble. But you see what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily have to be Leetonia, but hey, there's other schools.
Right.
Southington Chalker, right?
Yeah. Matthews.
Sebring. Matthew. Yeah. Does Matthews have low numbers?
I think so.
They usually do. I just thought they were okay.
Jackson Milton's winning. They're okay, but and then there are some of those teams that maybe they don't have football because they don't have the numbers, but if they had an extra 13 guys come, boom, they can have football. Badger, Maplewood.
Here comes Superman right now. Jeremy Atkins Hill saying, Wyndham, Chalker. Wyndham. Like this is what we should be talking about, right? This is the stuff that goes and here we go again. Who's sitting back in the wings, just arms crossed, kicking on the old bar stool? Our good friends in Columbus, the OHSAA.
Yep.
Do something. It's like that meme where you're poking
the stick.
Do something, dude. Like, come on. These schools are having a hard enough time figuring it out. And they're supposed to be worrying about academics, not athletics. You, the governing body, OHSAA, should be worrying about athletics. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Hey, we have a solution for you. This team and this team. You don't have enough. Boom. There it is. You got a team. Now, whether it counts or not, that's what they pay you guys literally the big bucks for. So figure it out. Figure it out. Why are we sitting here talking about this in week 4 when the OHSA should have been well ahead of this?
Yep.
They have enough money to have enough people to analyze the situation on every front. Instead, they're going to sit back and go, well, just going to have to cancel. Like, they don't care. It's not their birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't the tournament. This happens in the tournament. They are yiting their pants. Like, no, we can't do that. No, you got to do this. There are stipulations that if you cancel a playoff game, you can be potentially punished that you can't make it the next year. Yet in the regular season that they still, by the way, govern, doesn't mean crap. No, go ahead, man. Hey, be you.
They don't care about the regular season. We've learned that before.
Because they don't make any money in it.
Right.
But sometimes you have to be the guy that goes, listen, I understand this isn't going to make us money, but this is the right decision. And, hey, if in Springfield, in this case, let's say Waterloo teams up with another school, right?
Right.
I know it's going to be difficult. And Springfield has the right to say, no thanks. But I don't think they would.
We teamed up with Ironton. Here we come. We're good.
No thanks. Hey, I know one team that would.
Went up to Lake County and got Kirtland on our side. No thanks.
Within reason, right? You can't just go grab someone.
Right.
Like, if this isn't the WWE.
We're obviously joking at this point, but,
Yeah. We're going to go grab the Big Show. Nope. No, you're not.
Nope.
But there has to be, and it wouldn't take a lot. There's lots of smart people down in Columbus, lots of smart people within the OHSAA that I do very much respect. What I don't respect, and go ahead, tell me that we're bullying the OHSAA. Okay. No, it's not. We're just pushing them. Hey, guys, make a decision. Like, figure stuff out. You've got a solution for everything, except for, I don't know, when it doesn't matter to you.
Right.
Like, do it in the playoffs. Like, this is a scenario in the playoffs where, hey, you could be punished in the playoffs. Okay, rip that on down to the regular season. If you cancel a game now, you should be punished, whether it's your fault or not. There are degrees of it, right? But let's talk about it. Like, you can't play 3 games and then be like, nope.
Here's a newsflash, everyone. Holding someone accountable is not bullying them by any stretch of the imagination. OHSA has a job they're supposed to be doing, and if we're holding them accountable and saying, do it, like, do your job, be a governing body, that's not bullying, guys. That's just saying you have a job to do. You should get on your phone and do it.
I've got to imagine that Springfield's upset about this. I know they're not going to say anything, and I'm grateful, right? And we've got a show that we have to do tomorrow that Noah will go out there, and we'll have to advise, hey, this is a kid glove situation.
Right.
Because we don't want – the last thing we want is frustration from coaches or players to spill over in other communities or spit out hate or any – that's not what we're looking for. That's why we're not exactly spitting it. We're just saying, hey, this should happen before there's ever a cancellation of a contest. And again, is it a cancellation? Is it a forfeit? I don't think it matters in this case scenario, because if Springfield gets the win, that's great. But at the same token, they want reps. They want to get better. Right. They want iron sharpening iron, because they're a young team that wants to get better. They're not looking to bully Waterloo in this scenario, and anybody that says so, I think they're a little bit biased in that scenario. Would you agree with that? I've never seen Springfield. I know Coach Slopek. I know Sean Guerrero. I'm assuming Coach Mang, Mr. Mang, would be down on the field in that scenario, watching everything closely. And if it got out of hand, hey boys, that's it.
Yeah, Springfield's never been, even when they were in their prime, they were going to state tournaments. They weren't taking it too far against the teams that were, inferior to them. They were saying, hey, we're going to get our reps, we're going to get our points, and then, hey, we're going to back off, we're going to show you guys respect. And that's what they've always been. And to think that they're all of a sudden not going to be that, it's kind of not founded on anything that I can see as facts.
Right. Look at the body of work, right, that they've done. And they've taken care. And sometimes people don't really recognize this, because they'll look at the scoreboard and they'll go, whoa, it takes 30 points to get that clock running. Right. And you have to be a lot of times into the second half for that clock to be running, unless agreed upon prior to the game or during the game by both coaches. When you see a 40-0 score, a lot of times that was, hey, we got the 30 really fast, and we just hit the e-brake.
Right.
That is not a team running it up. At this point in where we are in sports, that's not where it is. And when you have these big conferences with schools of different sizes and different talent abilities and all, they're actually taking it easy on you, because we've seen the 80 points. We've seen 90, 100-point games. That is excessive. 40 points in today's day and age in football is, 6 touchdowns?
Yeah.
That's a lot of times that's 6 possessions. And if the other team's not scoring, that's maybe a quarter and a half. So when you see a final be 40-0, 42-0, things like that, a lot of times that is the team that is better taking it easy on the other team. Right. And a lot of times the JVs and freshmen are playing already.
Like that 40 could easily be 75. There's just no doubt about it. If they wanted to.
But parents get all an outrage. Well, they just beat it. And then it turns into, well, you wait till we come around and we're going to pummel you. Okay, but
do again, it. Get better. Getting to the point when you can beat us by 75. Great. We
Isn't
want that.
What you want?
We'd love that.
But don't get your butt kicked and be like, you know what? You wait. Just no. The old adage, right? When you win, say nothing, and when you lose, say less.
Right.
So I don't know. And it feels like we're throwing a lot of shade at Waterloo, and this is not the case. Not the case. It's just frustrating because we live in a really, really heavy copycat society.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be a lot of people that are watching what's happening there, and we're going to see this happen somewhere else. And it won't be long.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, let's do it. Let's do that. Let's do
Oh,
it.
look what they're doing. Okay, yeah, we're out. We're gonna take a break till week 7 or 8. We'll be back though.
We'll be back.
We'll be back. We're gonna go get a couple Starbucks. We'll be back.
Season
You guys
intermission.
need anything? Cool. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. Bye. And then those other teams are like, what do we do? I mean, it takes me back to like, was it Canfield that got a bye in week 9 or 10 a couple years ago because the team canceled on them, and they, what do you do?
Right.
But they ended up winning the state championship. If I recall,
That's
correctly.
what we do. We go win it all.
You know what, guys?
This year, especially suck because if you're in a top 4 seed, you get a bye in the first week of the playoffs too. So you get 2 weeks off before you even play a playoff game.
Okay. So you know what? We got to do a little journalism here. Waterloo football schedule. All right. So here's what we're going to see. And this is on Max Prep, so it is up for interpretation. Okay, so their first game was against Springfield?
That's not right.
8-22?
Wait, did they play Akron Springfield?
It must be Akron
Yeah,
Springfield.
I think
okay.
it's Akron Springfield.
So they lost 40-32. Okay. Not bad.
Not bad.
Jefferson, week 2, 51-7. Last week against Lisbon, 41-14. Springfield is slated for this week. Our Springfield that has somehow been avoided a couple of times during our tenure here with them. They are scheduled week 4 to play Springfield. Week 5 is Mineral Ridge. Oh boy. Week 6 is McDonald. Jackson Milton. Aren't they still undefeated?
They have one loss.
Okay, my apologies. Jackson Milton. So, by the way, it is at Springfield, at Mineral Ridge, home against McDonald, at Jackson Milton, at Western Reserve, home against Lowellville, and home against Campbell. So, if, and this is a big if, we're looking at figuring things out to get back to football. If you're not playing Springfield, you're probably not going to play against Ridge on the road. I'm guessing McDonald's out.
McDonald's.
Jackson Milton might be. I mean, this is nothing. I mean, again, we're just playing the game of, hey, what can we compete in? I don't think Jackson Milton's a team that you want to necessarily say, hey, we think we can. We're going to skip.
All right, we're ready. You.
We're coming for you, Blue Jays. Reserve. I'm going to tell you, Reserve's better than what we've seen. They're hurting. They've got injuries, but I think they're young and they're going to get better as the season goes along. That's at Reserve too. We might not see, if we see them at all, Waterloo. We might not see them until week 9 and 10 when they've got home games against Lowellville and Memorial.
Yeah, and like, let's be honest, you can't cancel week 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then come back, or and 8, and come back in 9 and 10. Okay, we're ready. We're good to go.
Oh boy,
that
this,
would,
and this is where it gets dicey because YSN announcer, the voice of the Ridge Rams, Mike Mannion says that's Ridge's homecoming.
Oh.
So what do you do? You know, because now you're talking. Oh boy.
Do you progressively move homecoming right now? Be like, hey, we're gonna have homecoming either the next home game after that or.
Well, the problem is most of these are like kind of like set in because
right.
Hey, this is our homecoming. This is our Hall of Fame. This is our, senior night. This is, I mean, it is real interesting. And Ridge, did they play 3 home games already? Where were they on Friday?
They were definitely home on Friday against. They were home against United. I think they did. I think they played home on week 1 too.
So there you go. You've already got 3 home games in the books.
They're home this week, and they're home next week too. So they're like kind of South Range last year, where they're home for the first. What was South Range last year? First 6, first 7.
Yeah, here it is. We might be cooked, fellas. This is dirt. He's not. Hey, if there's one thing we know about Derp, he does not hold back. And
no.
It's interesting. Ridge doesn't play home again until the last week of the season against
after Waterloo. Yeah, so Waterloo. They play 5 home games in a row, and then they don't play again until.
I mean, this is a tough scenario, man. This is a tough pill to swallow, and we're kind of playing catch with it right now, not really knowing what the best situation is, and which is not always good, not always a great situation to be in. But we appreciate the comments and like, what do you think out there? What are your feelings on this situation? Is this a hey, we should cancel everything and just move on? Or is this do you like them going week to week and saying, okay, well, we could be healthy this week. We could be healthy this week. What's the general consensus? What do the people out there feel like? Because if this was your team, not, hey, Waterloo stinks. We hate we don't want any of that. We want, if this was your team, if this was your community, what would you want to do? Derp, I mean, you're obviously in our comments. What would you want to see if this was your team? Would you want to see them fight until the bitter end? Would you want to see them fight until, they don't have numbers at all? What would it be? That's the question. Oh, here we're talking about schools merging with other schools now. That's the question. Is the football team, not
the actual school.
We're not jumping into Mike DeWine's shoes here. Oh, here we go. Scott Ratzitar. Way to answer the bell here. Thanks. Appreciate you, pal. What do you got here? Yeah. I don't know what I would want, Ant. We saw this happen before. We saw this happen with other teams. I mean, Palestine was battling numbers, right, and then they were able to fight back, right?
I think the sticking point of it is if you're a school as small as Waterloo and you lose your whole football season, you're losing a lot. Especially the home games. We talked about revenue for Springfield this week.
Sure.
When Waterloo's home, you're losing all that revenue from your home games. You're losing a lot if you lose the whole season. So I think they're trying to sit there like, how can we manage this where we maybe don't have to cancel the whole season, but we also maybe they just don't go on the road anymore. They just play their home games. I don't know how.
Oh, and you can't do that. Oh,
you can't do that.
No.
But like, it's a lot easier to lose
through that, dude.
It's a lot easier to lose the road games where you're not the one losing revenue than it is to lose the home games where you're the one losing the gate and the concessions.
I'm going to tell you that if that were the case, there's going to be a lot of frustration inside that league because, I mean, think about all those road games.
Yep.
Springfield, Ridge, Western Reserve. Where was the other one? Jackson Milton. I would imagine they like to shake the can a little bit too. You know what I mean? They're 50-50s. They're glizzies and they're hot dogs and all that. They're nachos and popcorn.
If that were to happen, they'd be like, "All right, but we're not coming to you next season. You're coming to us."
That's it.
Like,
I mean, can you imagine? I mean, we've been in that room before. I don't know if they're still in the same room and if they still meet in the same place, but we've been in that room before. I can't imagine the screaming match that would ensue. Between not just the superintendents, but the athletic directors.
Right.
I mean, you've got these schools that are fighting to stay in the black. And there are levies and things that are on the line we've talked about during football season. You can't just be like, we're only going to play our home games. So there it is. So just so you know, breaking news, we're only going to play our home games, and a poo-poo to you. So I don't think that's what they're doing, but I mean, if they're not going to play until, and this is just us, again, finding and searching the situation and trying to go down every avenue of what's the best avenue to go down. Boy, oh boy. I don't think waiting till week 9 and 10, where their only home games left, is a good idea. How many kids do they have? We don't know.
Yeah, we're not going to throw out a number that we don't know, but
yeah,
Mario, it's enough
that they canceled the Springfield game.
And they ran a running clock in week 3, so it's not
against
not
Lisbon.
Good, not a good number, probably.
Derpy says, I mean, unless they just make it where you can't cancel games, and that's kind of what we're talking about. Excuse me. To me, and I've said this before, the OHSA needs to step in and say there are no more canceled games. Like that, cancellations don't exist. If you can't field a team and you committed to the season, conference or non-conference, it is a forfeit. Sorry about it. Like, it's as simple as that. Just coming out and having, you know what, and just guess what, guys? You committed to this, right? Your hand's in the pile. You can't just be like, we're just gonna.
Let me slide right by you, real quick.
The Ohio. My bad. Let me just. Sorry, didn't mean to bump you. Hey, have a great day. No, you can't do that. Forfeit. You're done. That's it. And this isn't a hard thing to do. OHSAA, we see it all the time. Teams fight about this. And I sit there and this is what drives me up the wall. Because, hey, we didn't forfeit, we canceled. No. And if you had half the amount of fight in you about your team being on the field in whatever sport it is, you wouldn't have to worry about this. Like, we're not fighting. If you can't show up to an event that you were scheduled to be, this is not COVID. It is a forfeit. I'm sorry. Because chances are you are going to lose anyway. So the team that is supposed to be on the field and was willing to show up should not be punished in this situation. No more cancellations. This is not, a rock tour. This is a football game. That's it. Done. Winner, loser. End of story. Sorry about it. But instead,
I'd like to, we know that we were told by McAfee that obviously Pennsylvania handles it different. In the WPIL, you have to get, you have to get their permission to cancel a game. I wonder how, do some research, do how other states handle this kind of situation.
Oof.
Especially the border states. I'd be interested to see how Indiana handles it, how Kentucky handles it, West Virginia, etc.
Derp says,
maybe
hey, this is not our report. No offense, Derp, but Derp says 13 players. If that's the case, that's obviously very challenging. I mean, that's barely enough to cover one side of football,
13, yeah, then you're on the line where if 2 kids get injured, you're in a really tough spot.
I'm gonna tell you something.
We cannot confirm that it's not our number. We did not put that out.
Yep. Disclaimer at
the beginning
of the show. I also want to put out, I'm gonna just roll out a guess that most of these kids are dogs, and they're like, we want to play, and the coach wants to play, and I'm sure the administration wants to play. Mm-hmm. And they're in their mind, they're probably doing the best thing for their players and their community. But with that being said, if that's the case, and I believe it is, just be done. Just be done for the season. It's not going to be a good look no matter which way you slice it, if you come back 2 weeks from now, because then 3 weeks from now, because they're not playing McDonald, I just don't think that's a smart idea to be like, that's the one.
We're going after.
Look out. We're coming after the Blue Devils. I just don't think it's a good idea. If you're canceling back-to-backs, I like your idea, Ant. If you're canceling back-to-backs, your season's over. Unless there's a scenario where the other school says, yeah, let's go.
Right.
And that very well might be the case. But you have to put it in their hands at that point. Like they control your destiny, right? And I think you have to forfeit all your home games. What I mean by that is you're going to wherever they are. Right. So if you've got home games left on the schedule, they automatically go to the other school. You can no longer collect revenue from that. Spitballing here, but I don't think it's fair that you can collect and the other schools can't. Right or wrong? I mean, what are your thoughts on something like that?
You mean like in general, like if in a normal game, the away team should be able to get gate, or do you mean in this scenario?
Yeah, so you're canceling two away games in a row, right?
No. Yeah, you shouldn't be able to say, hey, we're going to lose you guys revenue. We're still going to get ours, though, in a couple of weeks. No, I think you should have to supplement. I don't know how you should have to say, okay, for those two games that we're making a team lose revenue, either we play at the other school in the two games, or the other school that we're playing that's coming to Waterloo gets revenue from that game. Or whatever school, we're not singling out Waterloo, but in that scenario, if you cancel 2 road games, the next 2 home games scheduled should be either switched to at the other team's school, or you're playing home, but the other team's getting the kickback for it, because you can't play that game where you're making another school lose the revenue, but then in a couple of weeks, you're going to still get revenue from a game. That doesn't seem quite right.
How about Eric Hughes with a good take here? Hey,
Eric Hughes.
Our little boy's growing up. We got a really good take here. Not a hot take. I had to read it first. I had to screen him. Marty says definitely should be a forfeit. A canceled game doesn't help either team, or help the better team. I agree. I'm not confirming that. Okay. So Derp says he's not confirming the 13 number, which is fine. I mean, again, we're not confirming it either. We don't know that. It's low enough to cancel a football game. And I think that's what needs to be addressed here. Play it on 8-on-8. Play 8-on-8 format. Ben, I like thinking outside the box here. I do. I don't think that's fair necessarily to the team that has 11 guys or wants to play. I mean, this is 8-on-8 has its own thing. This is high school football, 11-on-11. And I think you can play 10-on-11 if you don't have enough guys, which sign me up. Like I'm ready. I'm going down with the ship. But at the same token, I don't think being able to be like, hey, you guys are going to play 8-on-8 this week, and then you're going to play 11 wait. There's no formations that work in 8-on-8.
We're not set up to play 8-on-8. We have no game plan for 8-on-8.
And there's like a weird lineman rule, right? Is in 8-on-8. And I say weird because it's just different.
Yep.
It's not where you should use weird either, by the way. It's just different. It's a different rule. Your formations are different. Your quarterback's different. The gameplay is different. There's a couple different rules. I just think it'd be interesting. But I do like the creativity. I like, hey, we asked them for solutions. They're bringing solutions. Ben, that's a good thought. I just don't think that OHSA is ever going to be like, yep, that's it. Well, I don't know. That could be it, Ben.
Right.
Maybe Ben works for OHSA and he's like, hey, this is what they're
telling
thinking,
you,
man.
This is coming down.
Here comes the velvet hammer. I don't know. I'm interested to hear and see what happens. I think there's a great group of people. Waterloo, the Atwater community, great people. And I'm really interested to see how this transpires, how this shakes out. I think there's a right way somewhere out there. I don't know it right now. But that's why these people are so much smarter than I am and figure it out, right? Like I'm looking forward to this because I think this is an opportunity for Waterloo to be like, hey, we have this thought and this is what we're going to do and do it the right way. And I think the people, and you and I are Mike DeVries fans. I know he's no longer there. He's retired, enjoying retirement, but huge fans of what they've been able to do in that community and across the board. We've had some of the great players from Waterloo in the last 5-6 years come through, on YSN. I think they've got the ability to make a really good decision here and do some really good things and lead from the front. And I'm looking forward to it. I really am. This is in no way like this. Not employed by the OHSAA. My apologies. I didn't mean to insult you. But I think this is an opportunity for them to say, hey, we don't have necessarily what everybody expected us to have. So this is what we're going to do. But also here's a solution to it. And probably those idiots on YSN, we're not going to listen to any of their things because that's all they are, talking heads at this point. But I think we made some interesting, what would it be, the scenarios that you could utilize or a combination of some of them?
Brought you a tray of solutions to the table. You can take them. You can make your own. You can use them to make a different one that's going to mix of both. But we brought some meat to the table and said, here's some options that you have in the buffet of solutions.
The buffet of solutions. I don't know if this one necessarily has a buffet. I think it's more of like Old Country buffet where there was like nothing
bar.
ever.
It's a salad bar of solutions.
It's not even salad, man. That's not it. Like, what is that guy? Like, you ever had a potatoes? Yep. What about chicken? No chicken. We're out of chicken. What kind of buffet is this? It's when you hit the buffet at 9 p.m. and you think there's going to be a lot of stuff there. You're not going to work the next day if you're going to a buffet at 9 p.m. I'm telling you that right now. Your tummy's gonna hurt a little bit. Learn from that one, kids, because we've all been there.
We've talking from experience.
We come from a different generation, and nothing good is really, really worth it after 10 p.m. at restaurants. Just laying it out there, especially fast food. If you're at like a pizzeria or something like that, but like you go to McDonald's after
Taco
10 p.m.
Bell after 10
Good
p.m.
night. Oh my gosh, there are nightmares at Taco Bell after 10 p.m. I'm telling you that right now. Hey, this tastes different. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. That's enough of us for today. We've done our job. Thanks to we're well over our time slot. Thanks to our dear friend Greg McAfee, who popped on the show today, gave us his Overreaction Monday. If you missed it, we will have it up on our website later this evening and clipped up for you. So hopefully you're able to check in, and surely we'll have some clips that you'll see on social media. And I had to apologize to him because I felt like, you remember Power Rangers had Zordon, just a big head dude? For some reason, our clip thing loves putting Greg McAfee looking like Zordon. Like, Power Rangers, they need you. That's Greg McAfee right now. So, stop it, Scott. No. There are no 2 more hours. No way. We stopped that power hour because we didn't want to go an hour.
Not unless you give us 2 hours of nothing but guests. Like if we have 2 hours of live guests, we're getting content. Cool. Otherwise,
what is this? A belt? Oh boy, here we go. Derp wants 2 more hours now. No, we're not doing this.
No, shut it down.
We're gonna cancel this out. All right, it is time for the Joe Dickey Electric. Presented by Joe Dickey Electric. They are everything electrical, and they are 24/7, 365. They are available to you and yours at DickeyElectric.com. The Spark, presented by Joe Dickey Electric. Anthony Ronald Hartwig,
We have two former YSN athletes doing some pretty cool things for YSU Penguins over the weekend. Bo Brungard, former Springfield quarterback, got a helmet sticker on national TV. Joey Galloway gave him his helmet sticker for a great game against Robert Morris. And then former Canfield Cardinal on the volleyball side, Abby Householder, became just the 6th player in program history at YSU to get 1,000 digs and 1,000 kills in her career. So congratulations to Abby and Bo for doing great things for the Penguins. We love seeing YSN athletes do great things at the next level.
Where did the 2 more hours thing come from? Scott, I'm blaming you. So you know this is not. We don't play these games. We try not to, at least. My spark goes out to. I was at the Shriner, Youngstown Shriner Club Clam Bake, this is my 3rd time I've been there, and it was absolutely awesome. The proceeds benefit children in need, as everything the Shriners do. And you know, I'm not a Shriner. I don't claim to be one. I'm so proud to be associated with them, with some of my friends, and what they do, and giving me insight as to what they do. And you can see their commercials run on YSN. But dude, I'm telling you what. Do you like seafood?
Not a lot.
That doesn't surprise me.
Calamari is good. Salmon. I'll eat a smoked salmon.
Do you like clam?
No.
Do you like lobster?
No.
Okay. Well, you're not invited.
I don't have a lot of seafood, but like I said, good smoked salmon. I'll eat that up. Calamari is actually pretty good too. It's weird. Those are 2 things that I've liked since I was a kid. But
well, when they have a calamari bake, I'll invite you. But
all right, let's do
the
it.
clam bake, dude, they had probably 600 people, and Scott said that place was packed. It was unbelievably packed, but everybody left with a full tummy, a happy tummy, as my wife tells the kids, and happy plates, because when you're there, you clear your plate. There's corn, there's chicken, and they grilled 500 chickens. They cooked 500 chickens.
Bad day to be a chicken.
Oh, it was a bad day. Real bad day. Bad day to be a chicken or clam or a lobster. But I'll tell you what, can't say enough, not only about the event that is once a year. It is incredible. Great fellowship, great people talking. I mean, stories you can go to any table, and the stories they could tell you about how they've helped children, and potentially save children's lives and families, keeping them together. And it's unbelievable. Shout out to Greg Burbick, who is, I could tell you stories about Greg Burbick for hours. That would not surprise anybody, but he has helped my family in different scenarios, and his business in a lot of scenarios.
The first corporate sponsor for YSN, if I'm correct, right?
First corporate sponsor ever, and he was he's been there since day one. I mean, it was, and he's always inviting me to different places. He's like, "Hey, come up, and we're gonna shout you." I don't need nope. This is not my event. This is not my event, and that's a lot of great people there on Saturday night. So if you ever have a chance, and this isn't me as a part of the member of the group or anything, if you ever have a chance to help out the Shriners, please do so. The work that they do is absolutely incredible, especially here locally, the Youngstown Shrine Club. So that's my push, and that's just as a person that admires what these gentlemen do. So thank you for the invite. We appreciate all you do, and certainly looking forward to the Clam Bake of 2026, which I'm already counting down the days, man. I think I'm still sweating butter. It's so bad.
You just like
no, I did not do that. Don't ever put that on me. That is going to do it for our show. We will be back tomorrow. Booking guests right now. So Anthony, give them the spiel about booking guests if they want to be a guest right here on YSN Live.
Yeah, if you want to be interviewed either on the program, or if you can't make the hour, you want to be interviewed in any capacity, we'll make it work. Reach out to us on social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Doesn't matter. We'll see it. We'll be able to schedule you, or you can email info@ysnlive.com, and we'll schedule you that way too. We have a little questionnaire that we'll send you once we get you scheduled, and once you fill that out, we'll be good to go to get you interviewed.
We will see you tomorrow at noon right here on ysnlive.com. For those of you asking, we will be out zone coverage Thursday at Canfield for the Canfield-Poland game. Getting all amped up about that game because the Battle of 224 begins on Thursday. We got the 7th and 8th graders. They'll be playing behind us. Boy, oh boy, am I jacked up. Coach Ignazio and a couple of the players will join us to talk about this rivalry and why things are happening right now in Canfield. For Anthony Ronald Hartwig, the 8-time best-selling author and world traveler, my name is DJ Yoakley, and may the sports be with you, pal.
And you, my friend.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.